You ever have one of those days where you're looking over your life and of course you see you've made some improvements and things are better, but you just are stuck in feeling like a failure. All you're seeing are your mistakes and imperfections and not the growth and progress that you've made. Well, I had a client text me the other day, and that's right where she was. And I'm going to read you what she texted me. She said, "Do you have any tips for understanding how far we've come? This has always been a problem for me, tracking or seeing my progress. Day to day, I feel like a failure, but overall, I know I've made a ton of progress. Any suggestions for what you do to see this progress?" So, she's gone through the process, like, things we've talked about of make a list of all the changes, like the day she walked into the office and the addiction she had, the poor relationships she had, the poor career that she had, and then list where you are in your life now. Like, she's done all that. So she can look at, and during the process of coaching her, it's, describing to her that the way growth happens, it's like, if you ever, watched the second hand on a clock, 60 seconds goes around really quick, right? It just tick, 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 tick. But the way recovery works and the way reclaiming our greatness works is it's these little subtle changes that we don't recognize because they're not these grand, big moments usually. I mean, we have we'll discover something like, oh my God, and feel this really big shift in who we are and our progress. But for the most part, it's just these subtle little changes. And like I always describe to clients, what happens is you wake up 6 weeks, 6 months, a year later, and you're like, oh my God, the second hand is all the way down here, like I've come this far. And so what she's describing is she's been through that process. She's looked at it, in her text. She's mentioning, I left out some of the personal details of she's battled addiction and has made huge progress in that. She's gotten herself away and out of severe toxic friendships and relationships. She's cleaned up severe damage around her family environment and faced all of that. But yet she's stuck in the position of feeling all of the pain. Like she can't separate the past pain from the progress. And so my response to her was really pretty simple. Quit using the pain of the past to beat yourself up with, instead of using the pain of the past to learn from. See, that's what happens to us. Like when we go into all this pain, we learn how to navigate it. But because of our brain and things I talk about in my book of how our brain and body becomes addicted to that pain, we will have days like this where we're just consumed with that cycle of repeating the shame against ourselves and beating ourselves up for our imperfections. We'll have those moments and those days, and it feels like we haven't accomplished anything. Those are the days we are actually reaching back for that pain instead of using that pain to bring it forward and go, oh my gosh, this is what's keeping me from my greatness and what I'm capable of. And we use it to destroy ourselves once again. It's a backdoor way we try and keep ourselves from achieving all that we were meant to be. So keep that in mind on those days and those moments where you're stuck. You've made progress. You're a completely different person, but you're feeling nothing, you're just feeling like you're just a complete failure, like you've done nothing. And even though you can you can cognitively, and even if you looked at your list, you'd go, my God, I'm a completely different person. I've come so far. But all you're feeling is that failure. In that moment, you're reaching back going, I'm not quite ready to grab all my greatness. I kind of want to hold on to it a little bit. I want to keep this billy club and I want to keep beating myself up with it. And so remember that. Use the pain of the past to learn from and discover who you are. Don't use the pain of the past to beat yourself up with. So I hope that helps you. Hope you're having a great day. Take care.